Peace to the world!
Last week, I received a message from my cousin that my biological father had passed away. And I was not close with my biological father. There was a time in my life that I was, but at the time of his passing, I was not. However, my sister remained in touch and had a relationship with him. Upon learning about his passing, I read his obituary, and it ran down, my sister's name and her husband and her two kids, and then it went on to his sisters and all this, and then it said my name, but it didn't say my husband or my children's names. It put me in this weird headspace because I had never experienced not being an equal to everyone else in the family. Though I wasn't really upset about the obituary, it was more that my husband, my son, and my daughter, but
they weren't aware of
my daughter. I was upset about what I kind of felt as disrespectful towards my husband. It's been like a weird couple weeks, and I'm not upset, I'm not grieving.
This huge event happened in your life with somebody passing that was, whether you were close to them or not, very influential in your life and who you are today, and just the emotions that surrounded it. And talking about, were you like upset or sad about the passing? Was it more the obituary that bothered you, or but you were clearly like bothered or processing or dealing with the events?
Last night, how I felt about it, and I feel like I still feel the same now. But it is weird, like events like this, you feel one way, and then the more you think about it, you start feeling a different way, and you start putting different labels on the emotions that you feel. But I think what I feel is, I feel disappointed. I did feel disappointed in myself for possibly not being able to, or not doing enough to build a bridge within that side of the family to be connected. I've never experienced that exclusion to the same respect. I've never experienced that exclusion within my own family.
Yeah.
My dad, who is my stepdad, he was super sweet and comforting and apologized, about, the loss of my biological father. I just thought, like, how lucky am I that in that moment that I see, both men, one man who is apologizing for the loss of my biological father. The example that my dad has set for me through my life has shaped who I am in a way that I don't think I really have thought much about, I guess, until this has happened.
You definitely have acknowledged it and you're aware of it, but this is, I definitely think, has really brought it to light in a way that maybe it just hasn't been in the past. And do you think that, having your dad and having now your family, having a husband and two kids, and then a strong relationship with your mother and your other sister, that has allowed you to process this situation or go through it and deal with it in a way that you can come out of it still feeling supported and grateful for all the things that you do have in your life?
Of course. Knowing their support and their love, I feel like that's how we get by.
It's so important to have that support network, and why it's so important to have those people that you can talk to, and even sometimes to seek outside help or to seek somebody else to speak to.
Sometimes that's important. Sometimes you need a different perspective.
Or be neutral, or to see it from a different perspective, a different point of view.
Or just to listen without giving you an opinion back.
On that note, we want to thank Pride Counseling for supporting the video this week. This is actually a sponsorship that I think is really important and meaningful, and we were really happy to work with them, because we do know with issues like Blue has been talking about, or there's so many other things that we deal with that might feel more specific to our community or to our pasts, or the journey or the roads that we've traveled. And Pride Counseling is really great because you work with counselors who really understand that journey. So Pride Counseling will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist who is LGBTQ plus friendly.
That's right. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online.
So you just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and within 48 hours, Pride Counseling will match you with a licensed, trained, and fully accredited counselor that is LGBTQ plus friendly.
You can log into your account at any time and send a message to your counselor and schedule weekly videos or phone sessions so you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. And Pride Counseling is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches.
They make it easy and free to change counselors if needed so that you can find the right match for you. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available.
We all need to talk to somebody, and Pride Counseling can help.
And as a special offer for our audience, you get 10% off your first month.
So visit pridecounseling.com/mattandblue.
The link is in our bio. And again, I think that this service, the Pride Counseling, is a really great service because there are, especially in communities like ours, there are so little LGBTQ plus resources or representation. And I think that's also been a big eye-opener for us in the past 2.5 years. You know, because the community, or like the town that we lived in before we moved here, it just was a much more, I don't know,
Well,
I don't want to say open-minded or
Well, it was.
liberal or...
I don't think it was liberal because it was definitely a more of a conservative, small town vibe.
This community is definitely not as similarly minded as us when it comes to like social issues or is like accepting. We ourselves personally have never encountered any sort of like negative attention or heckling or anything because we are a gay family, and we walk around like it's pretty obvious when you see us in a grocery store together or as a family. But I mean, it's like clear that we are together as a family unit, and we've never had any sort of
Although people
issues.
think we're brothers all the time.
They do. But I mean, and then it's like, and you know, a lot of times people justify things because they don't want to see what they're actually seeing. But I just like this community has been very different, and I think one of the biggest like examples of that was the 4th of July parade this year. This year, you know, things have definitely relaxed a little bit, and we decided, you know, the parade was outdoors, and we felt like it was time to finally like take that step back into like engaging in like events in that way. And so we took our kids to the 4th of July parade, and it was a tough one. Because we didn't even like, I don't know, it was an eye-opener as far as like what this town was like in a way that we maybe already knew, but it was like more blatantly in our face than we had ever realized. Every other float that was going by was a float promoting a political campaign or a
Like some kind of
candidate
politician, yeah.
or politician. Some of the smaller businesses that had floats, there were slogans on their floats that were very...
There's the one about the uterus or something.
Well, there was a pro-life float with a giant fetus on it, and you know, people like,
But you
chanting.
saw on the side of the street, like you would see women that would with like a uterus on it and say, "Keep your hands off my uterus." Like you saw a mixture of it, but the problem was the people that were in the parade, supposedly celebrating 4th of July, were displayed such divisive banners, and it didn't seem like anybody was celebrating 4th of July. It seemed like it was an opportunity to say, "These are my politics, and you need to vote for me because you're going to lose your rights. They're going to take your guns." That's what it felt like to me, because there was a lot of gun stuff too.
There was definitely
Lots
a
of
lot
guns.
more. There was definitely a lot more one side. This is kind of hard to talk about without getting too political, but there are like certain social issues that not only are we maybe passionate about, but certain social issues that affect us.
Who's
our
us?
Our family,
Us.
and our community. Us
Being the
specifically.
LGBT.
Well, us, me and you, and
Yeah.
our family,
Yes.
and us as in our LGBTQ plus community. There was at one point, Blue came up to me, and he had just like read my body language because he knew, like I was trying, like I'm generally someone who can get along with anyone and can find the joy in any like event or like celebration, and I just was really struggling with this one, and he just full on read me, and he came off and he just was like, "You're having a hard time, aren't you?" We did meet a friend up here. We do know somebody up here. We've met
a friend.
Well, we've met a few people that identify as gay in this community. But even like speaking to them, we've talked a lot about their experience being up here and even growing up in this town. To this day, they're like professionally not 100% open or comfortable to just live like as open or freely as a lot of us do, or like especially in the bigger cities. And that was also, I don't know, it was...
because you have the fear of, one, is it good for your business?
Right.
Is it good for, are you trying to get a job? Are you, is it security-wise? I think about our security daily. I think about our security, anybody comes over to our house and picks up on the fact that, the electrician is like, oh, these are two gay dudes that live here.
Yeah, and again, like it's,
And I never felt that way anywhere.
No, 100% no. And again, like, we haven't confronted that, but it's very clear that those people do exist up here in much larger numbers. And you just never know, like, we have a house that we're renovating, and there are times that electricians are here, or plumbers, or inspectors or whatever, and you just really never know who that person's going to be, or what their views are going to be, and how they might react. And there are even times where, like, somebody, and I know I'm not saying this is right, but I've catch myself doing it, like somebody might roll up and they'll jump out of the truck, and I'll see them, and in your gut you make an initial sort of assessment, and there are times where I feel like, oh, maybe I should just lay back. I'll let Blue handle this one outside, and I'll just kind of like be discreet in the background. And it's weird that I even have that reaction, because it's not a reaction I've had.
That's weird. I don't like that you feel that way.
I don't necessarily, and then I don't know that I've ever, I think that I process it and like...
I just assumed they were things that you didn't want to deal with, so you just let me do it.
No, sometimes...
I don't want to deal with the septic, you deal with it.
No, our septic guy is actually pretty cool, but that's...
You have a septic guy, think about that.
A guy who comes to deal with our shit. But...
Who also recognized you, by the way.
Yeah. All that being said, I am grateful for the like friends that we have made up here that are identify as gay, and that we've been able to start that friendship.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like I think that that's been really helpful and important for us to be able to build that community within this town, or to have these conversations. We had a friend over recently who's gay, and we were able to have conversations like that with each other that we've never been able to have with anybody up here. Even, family, I try having those conversations with my family, and as much as they are supportive and 100% on board as our like biggest cheerleaders or whatever, support, whatever, they don't get it. They don't get it. So to like find that and start building that community, or to build those friendships, I think is really important. And I think in general, that, you talking about your biological father passing, and your dad coming into the picture, and he changed your life. Mm-hmm. And we come into this town and we find friends and people who are able to help us feel not alone or secluded, because you do, like, after events like the 4th of July parade, like that, I left that parade feeling very alone up here, and very secluded and very distant from the LGBTQ plus community. But then you meet somebody, or like you have somebody in your life, or we have each other.
You speak as if you've fallen in love.
No, I know that is.
Meet somebody.
But in my mind, like we met somebody, and like we had like.
Now it's a we.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, but I mean, we also have each other, and we have our friends and our friends in our network and our community that live outside of the city, and then we have this platform where we can connect with you guys. So I think there are these like opportunities and resources all around if you really seek them out, that you can find that support and that, I don't know, those relationships and those connections that allow us to like feel connected. I get excited then when I start talking about this stuff, because it is like, I love love, and I love that I feel love for you guys, and I feel love for you, and I feel love for the relationships, and I feel grateful, and these are all really important. You seem
like I don't have a chance to say anything? Is that what I'm saying? No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
You're doing good. Good job.
Good job. I think no matter where you are, it might seem like you've just left the 4th of July parade that leaves you feeling alone and stranded and on your own. But I think that there's always somebody out there, and I don't think that we can give up seeking that relationship, that friendship, that it's what makes our clocks tick. It's why we're alive. We need companionship on any level, and I think there's always somebody out there that you can connect to, and I feel like that has been proven to us yet again in the last few weeks. So if any of this applies to you watching, then just remember that. And if you're struggling, hit up Pride Counseling and talk to somebody, because it is important to talk to people and be heard and be acknowledged and be recognized. Don't forget it. You are special.
You are special. You are loved, and you are unique, and you are important. And a little bit, I may have stole some of that from the help.
A little bit?
You is kind.
You
is smart.
Just such a good
You
movie.
is important. All right, listen. That's the end. That's all, folks. Peace to the world. We're sending you big, big love. And yeah, till next time. Carry on. All right, peace to the world.
Peace to the
we
world.
love you guys. Give us your. I can't zoom on this.
No, there's no zoom. Oopsie, that's your phone.